All right. Hi, guys. Welcome. Today I have Maureen Fontaine, and she's going to introduce herself in a minute. And she agreed to have this session recorded and to have some, so that you can see, guys, what I would be doing if you join any healing group that I would be doing around healing anything that is blocking your visibility and abundance as a healer or as a health practitioner. So thank you, Maureen, for, for allowing me to record this session. I'm really appreciate it. And of course, so you know that if anything comes up that needs to be private and not shared in public, I'll pause the video and we'll come back. So just so you feel at ease with that. We will only share things that are helpful for the rest, okay? So Maureen, introduce yourself.
Oh, great. I'm really happy to be here. And I really appreciate you, Chantal, in my life and how just what you bring to the world. I just think that you're an amazing person. So
thank you
for this opportunity. I work with biological medicine. I have expertise in what's called dark field microscopy, which is simply looking at blood through the microscope and interpreting what it has to say for us. So in the biology, there is also the emotional aspect and our spiritual aspect, which is very aligned with the other part of what I do, which is intuitive readings, working with your intuitive self, seeing where your emotional body is interfering with perceptions of the world, with how you express in the world, how you give, how you receive, etc. In the intuitive aspect of things, I do use cards. I love to open a juicy conversation with how cards speak to us. I don't do it in the traditional sense. I have sort of my own unique way.
Yes.
And all of that being said, as you and I have discussed, Chantal, it's how do we move forward with that? I feel there may be most likely going to be restrictions on what we can do as practitioners. We sort of have the forebearing of that being planted. And if at the end of the day, what gives me the most joy, I've thought about that a lot. And the thing that gives me the most joy is what I'm doing right now, which is either blood or either working with intuition. I see that going the intuitive way and working with people from that perspective is still possible. And I wish to explore that.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing this and being open, especially as you are working on being visible. So I applaud you for the courage that you're taking right now to be online with many people who are going to watch. And I also applaud you for the fact that by sharing this, you are going to help people realize that they're not alone. And we just had a quick discussion before recording to the fact that I've spoken to a lot of health practitioners and healers who are not just that, they have another, let's say, another public face where for me, I'm a teacher, for you, you work in biological health. Other people are doing something that's a bit more traditional, but on the side, they have developed all those psychic abilities and over the years, and they are really, like, I think, plummeting and being, really enhanced at the moment. And you feel that, wanting to serve in a bigger way. So it is something that's not just for you. I've seen this with other people. So thank you for allowing me to help you today. So basically it's that in between. So I can see that you have joy doing both. And in the work I do, actually, what you were saying about the analyzing the blood, like it feels like the blood is the I guess the material part of things. But as you say, indeed, it's intertwined with all the emotional, and like we are holistic people for sure. And in my work as well, like we clear DNA because in the DNA, it's not just the genetics of the physical you that get mixed up. It's your fathers and your mothers, when they mix their DNA, they also bring their emotional baggage and their mental baggage and the core beliefs that sometimes have been passed down for generations and generations. So that needs to be found out and cleared from your DNA. And we can do this thanks to spirits. That's who I work with. So thank you for bringing this case to me. I'm going to call it the case because that sounds a little funny. So since we connected before, we have already kind of laid out a little bit of what needs to be looked at. So I'm just going to quickly connect with you. And for listener, we've cleared any entities that may be hovering around her and around me. So those are all clear. So we get clear information. And I do have a connection with you. My name is Maureen. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, I'm going to act as proxy for you. And so I have kind of, from hearing what your concern was, I've kind of put a list of what are the priorities. And the priorities coming up right now, the first thing to look at is the biggest thing apparently that Spirit is showing, or your higher self is showing me, is you have a great fear of losing your reputation. That seems to be the predominant things to look at anyway right now. Okay, so let's see where we're going to head with that. Okay. Okay. So, you know, the first energy that came up, it's the fear of not being thanked, like the whole thing about gratitude and feeling that your efforts are not well received or not well appreciated. So I don't know, is it related to the reading? Okay, so basically the fact that you're doing this other like analysis of blood and everything to help people with their health, if you were to step up and declare a bit more publicly that this is also what you do, there's probably an element of, oh, well, then, you know, they wouldn't appreciate, it's more like rather than gratitude, they wouldn't appreciate maybe who I am as a whole, my effort. That's what's the first thing that's coming up anyway. So it's more around the appreciation and the understanding. Will people basically understand me and will people accept me? Basically at the core, now I'm going down to the core, where is that all coming from? And this thing of, are people gonna basically love me and appreciate me for who I am with all my gifts and the whole of who Maureen is? I nearly feel like emotional about, because I'm being your proxy right now. So I have the feeling that they're taking me to this, yes, okay. So we're gonna see if there is any core belief that we could either uninstall or deal with in some way that could help you with that. So let's see what comes up. See my so many charts around, 1 second. Okay, so it's B2 and then which number? Okay, so, okay. This one has been coming, I've been working with lots of people and this one comes up a lot at the moment. Even I have it. I mean, I had it, but it's something that was in me too. And I believe in a lot of people. The core belief is, I don't matter. So that's pretty deep. It goes through many other layers of experiences that you've had and we're probably looking back at other lifetimes, they're saying yes. Okay, so would it be, I'm assuming it's going to be yes, but would it be in your best interest to get rid of that one? Yes, for sure. Okay, so let's see how, what are the underlying layers, because sometimes when I try to like get rid of a program, it actually doesn't allow me because there's other resistance and other residual energy behind it. So I'm going to ask first before we can go ahead. Okay, so how many pieces, how many items do we need to look at underneath this program before I can remove that core belief? Okay, so according to them, there's only one thing to look at. So let's have a look. Okay, so looks like you may have actually underneath, or probably from that core belief, you may have created another master program, which is also a big thing. It's less strong than a core belief, but still it's running your life, basically. You have to see sometimes your body like a computer. So whatever the program is in there, that's how you're gonna run, the way you see things and believe and act. Okay, so do we have a master program under this? Okay, where is it? Okay, so again, when they show me energy, I have to ask a bit more after that. They showed me unforgiveness. And I want to see, first of all, is it something, program, is it yours? Okay. Is it, so it's not, is it yours in a past life? No. Is it something that you got? Is it something inherited? Okay, so we're going back in your ancestries again. I'm saying again because we had already this session before. So is it your mom? Is it your dad? Okay, so first, your dad. So that's what I was explaining, is that in the DNA, sometimes you also have the emotional luggage and the programming. Like this one is a program, a master program of unforgiveness. Did your dad get it from someone else? Did he get it from his dad? Did he get it from his mom? So now we're going back to your paternal grandmother. She got it too. Is she the one who instigated? So she was the one. Okay. Did she suffer from unforgiveness? Was she the one unforgiving? So she was unforgiving. Okay. All right. Do we need to know more? Because we're being recorded, do we need to know more and share more right now in public? We do. Okay. And it's okay in public? Okay. All right. So let's find out the story. Usually, yeah. So usually when I go into ancestry, the actual person comes. So your grandmother is actually here right now in spirit. Okay. So let's, and they usually, that's when they say, yes, I want this cleared, it's because they need the clearing more than you actually. Okay. So what is the situation you want to show us? Okay. So this one. Okay, is there another, okay, some kind of discordant energy? How many energies do we want us to clear? One. Okay, so this is about your grandmother. Okay. Okay, so what I'm getting right now is they showed me alcoholism, and the first thing that comes is she was unforgiving of whoever was her partner at some point. Maybe she may have many partners, I don't know, but for drinking. So I don't know if you knew your paternal, that would be your, not your paternal grandmother, that would be, yes, your paternal grandfather. Was it, are you aware that he was drinking?
No, not specifically. Certainly my mother, but not, I didn't know about that for my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, but definitely the unforgiving part rings 100% true.
Yeah. So it was the granddad that was drinking, and your grandmother, was unforgiving of him for maybe coming back home drunk. Like, anyway, she had whatever his behavior as a, you know, as a person drinking, she was not, yeah, she was like, no, you cannot do that. I do not forgive you for that. Yeah, so that's what it is. So there was the drinking, I don't want to call it drinking problem, but there was a drinking thing. Okay. Are there any other emotion we need to clear around that? Okay. Okay, so how many? And there's one more thing to clear. So emotions that are, even though they were experienced by her, because it was never resolved, when it's, you know, it can be either passed down through DNA or absorbed or carried by someone else in the family. So in the case of your story, it was passed down to your dad, actually. Okay, so what is the emotion we need to get rid of? Okay. Okay, so the whole story is because of the drinking, and is it emotional you're showing me? Yeah. So not just because of the drinking, but the underlying whole thing here is that, so your grandmother felt abandoned emotionally by your granddad. So there was no connection anymore. I'm sure that when they were in love, it was fine, but as soon as they got married and after, she felt abandoned. So that's still a pain, a wound. Okay, so is that enough for us to clear? Okay, so now I'm asking Spirit to clear the emotions of abandonment. So not only from her, but passed down, as I say, we're clearing your dad and you. And so anybody who is a descendant, so your children, your siblings, if you have anybody that has been affected by this, I'm asking Spirit right now to clear everybody from that emotion. And so we have two emotions to clear: the abandonment, the emotional abandonment, the unforgiveness. And I'm going to come back to you because it has become a master programming. Okay, so I've cleared the master program. Okay, so the master program has been cleared of unforgiveness. And I'm just gonna try now. It might be early, but this is why you know I'm gonna ask you to do the sway test. So I'm asking now, Spirit, to clear, to uninstall, because it's like a program, uninstall the core belief that says I do not matter. Please clear this completely. Any sub-program, any energetic ramification in whatever way, shape, or form across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Anything that would be linked closely or remotely to this, please everything be completely deleted, removed, and installed, and completely destroyed. Okay, so that's still taking a bit of time. When I say taking a bit of time is because I rely on my pendulum to tell me when it stops. Basically, that means they've done the job, if the clearing has been done. And then, as you worked with me before, I'm going to ask you to check at the cellular level. So, because as you know, the spiritual level, as far as lightness of frequency, let's say it's up over there, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to go down to the different layers until it goes down to the physical and then to the cellular level. But what I really want to know is that at the cellular level, deep at the core, the program is completely gone. So this is where I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to stand up and do the sway test, where you either go forward, means yes, it's cleared, or go backward, that means no, there's still some resistance. So hopefully your body is going to, which is like your subconscious. Yeah. So just ask, actually you can even try something, we've never done that, but you can actually say, is it true that I don't matter? And let's see if it should go back, because it should be false. Is it true that I don't matter? Okay, yeah, and now just to make sure, can you ask your cellular body, is the program I don't matter completely gone? See?
Yeah.
That's why we do the test, because there's a resistance. So if I was only gonna say, okay, it's gone, and then we don't do that, that means at the cellular level, there's something, so you can see them, please, something resisting. So this is why we do that. Okay, so what is, how many elements of resistance do you have right now? 2. Yeah, so we have 2 elements of resistance. Okay, so where's the first one? So even though we clear the program, there's somewhere you do not believe in that yet. Because you see, if you could, the opposite would be I matter. And then you wouldn't even care about being visible, because you're like, well, what I have to offer matters, I matter. And then you would have no problem with visibility. So that means there's still something in you that's not quite there yet. Okay, so where is the first thing you need to look at? Okay. Okay, what's coming up is we have to look at something like abandonment. So let me ask a bit more. First of all, this abandonment issue, is this yours? Is this yours in this life? Is this yours in a past life? Have you had many past lives where you carried this? Okay, what is the original, when did you start this thing? Can you show me? Okay, so coming back to a past life in the 13th century, so this is where we go into wondering. So it's a physical abandonment where you're a boy, you were a girl, so you were a woman. And is it a physical abandonment from, like, as a child, where you're abandoned by your mom? Were you like from birth? Did you even see your mom? No. Were you given away? Were you given to a family member? And okay, so that's the whole story coming up. Okay, so abandoned by your mom, and of course you found out at some point. So even though you were in the care of someone else, there's still that core feeling of, oh well, I guess I don't matter that much if people just, you know, give birth to me and leave me. And I'm getting chills. It's usually signs like, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so that means that energy, and so, you know, past lives are not really past life. We're basically just an energy that goes through dimension and past life. This is our way of thinking, linear thinking, but that energy of abandonment is still in you, of course, because it's you, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so is there anything we need to know? Yeah, no, that's it. It's just they wanted to, oh my gosh, got lots of chills. Thank you, Spirit, for completely removing this energy of abandonment. And I nearly feel like wanting to do this little thing to the little girl, like telling that little girl that was wounded in that past life to understand that there were reasons, obviously, why your mom did that. Whatever the reasons were, she had her reasons to do that. So bringing understanding and healing to that little girl. And then put maybe, I feel like asking spirit to put a cocoon of light and I don't know, comforting blanket. I have all this, like I feel for that little baby. Okay, and also telling that little girl that she does matter, and it's not because of her, and it's not because of her worth that she was abandoned. It was something different outside of her. Okay, so that's, yeah, it looks like a pretty big one because it's still clearing that. Yeah, I can understand why if you wanted to clear I don't matter, that little girl energy would have come. That's not true. Someone threw me in the street, not in the street, but abandoned me. So I must be right. Okay. Okay, so that first thought is cleared. Yay, thank you, Spirit. So now let's find out what's the other piece in your energy that's kind of resisting this. Where shall I find again this one? Okay, how many pieces do you want to show me? Just one, okay. All right. Okay, so what else is coming? B3. Okay, interesting. So this one we have to explore further. There's an energy of confusion. Okay, is it right now you, Maureen, in this space and time as we're talking? Is that the confusion? Okay. Is it to do with what? Yeah, they're telling me now it's actually a projection in the future, because there's a part of you that's starting to be like, oh, maybe I can be visible. Oh, do I really? Oh, but what does that mean? It's like this whole like, oh, now it's more, it's a different path, or like it's this another element coming into that. Oh, I can matter, I can be visible. Oh, what does that mean? You know, there's that part. So it is from now. Okay, so let's find out why you would have this. So, okay, so let me see. Do we have to go into, yeah, so that's exactly what they were showing me. It's like we need to go behind this, so that, because when I clear a core belief, the program I don't matter, I want to install a different program, which is obviously going to be the opposite. I matter, which is going to help you with your with not necessarily your visibility online, because there's also like practical thing around this, but with your confidence to be okay to be online, expressing your views and expressing the whole of who you are. So let's find out what is the fear. Can you show me the fear? What would be the best place to show me what is the deep fear around that? Okay. Okay, so there's a discordant energy we need to look at. Low self-esteem is coming up. Okay, so low self-esteem. Is this something that you created? Is it something you created in a past life? Does it come, is it an inherited thing? Is it something that you picked up from a parent? Is it something you absorbed from a parent? Is it something you carried for someone? Okay. Is it your mom? It's actually your dad is coming up. Mm-hmm. So you carried, meaning that being an empath, as I know you are, you were picking up at an energetic level that something was not quite, you know, that was a little heavy for your dad, even though he probably maybe didn't even share, like, but you at an energetic level, you could tell. And therefore, out of compassion and love for your dad, obviously, energetically, you started carrying a little bit of that weight of low self-esteem energy, which is obviously not in your best interest right now, because if you want to be visible, you don't want to have that. You want to be confident. Okay, so okay, so your dad isn't here. That's okay. Do we need to do anything for you? No, your dad is not open to anything. So we're just going to deal with you. Is it okay? Do we have to go through deeper layers before we can remove the low self-esteem? No, because it's an easy, usually when energies are just carried, it's a little bit like spirits, you know, you can picture whatever you want, you know, angels grabbing the weight, literally grabbing the weight and taking it off. That's what it is. You're carrying a weight that doesn't belong to you. Okay, so thank you, Spirit, for removing the weight of the low self-esteem that Maureen is still carrying for her dad. And we won't look into your dad. Your dad is not open. He said no. So fine. It's okay. Everybody, you know, even in spirit world, they have the right to decline help. That's fine. Okay. All right. So that's done. Okay, any resistance? Okay, as far as this step, now if you stand up and do the test again, you need to ask if the program I don't matter has been completely removed, it should come forward.
Can you repeat, please?
So can you, like just in your head, is the program I don't matter completely gone? It's taking time because it's coming from the spirit layer. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So when it takes time, like I was saying, it's by the time it gets to your cell, because now we're going to your subatomic, as you know well about all the components. It's gone to the core of you now. So now you don't have low self-esteem, at least from your dad. I'm not saying you don't have it at all, but I'm just saying at least from your dad, that part. And that was for us to uninstall I don't matter. So now we're gonna ask to install the program I matter. So let me ask first to your higher self, your super consciousness. Is this the best program? I know it's the direct opposite of it, but is it the best for you now with your vision of being more visible? Is it the best we can find? See, no, we need to install something a little more specific to your situation. My eyes have been drawn to playing it small. That was one of the things that you mentioned. I'm getting chills for something, so let's see if I can put words into that. Okay. Okay, it's around, maybe you can word it yourself if something comes to mind, but it's around the idea of, right now, you are aware that you're playing it small, you know you can be out there in a more powerful way and you can serve more people, you know it. So it's around, what is the program we need to install to help you basically be out there in a bigger way? So if something comes up, tell me, but I'm going to start asking spirit. So it's going to start with I, obviously. Is it something with I am? Okay, so something to do with an adjective. So if you had around that idea, if intuitively right now, you wanted to have a program installed that started with I am, what would come up?
Invincible.
Okay, so I'm going to write this down and then I'm going to go to check with the energy that they're taking me to. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if I tell you the energies they took me to, you tell me if that resonates and that's included in invincible. There was an energy that needed to express of hope, and the other one is being indestructible, which is slightly different. But I think that's encompassed into invincible, because indestructible just means like you could be stagnant and people can attack you, but they can't do anything. But if you say invincible, that means not only that, but then you can go forward on your, it gives more that openness. So you might be right. Okay, so is I am invincible the best program for you? And still, no, it's too strong. The timing is too strong. Okay, so indestructible and hope. What could be a thing like, and I don't want to say I'm indestructible. Oh,
I am eternal.
You know what came up actually for you? Think about what we just said, indestructible and invisible. what you need to have programmed right now is quite simple at the core. I am safe.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what came up actually. And that encompasses everything we just talked about. Yeah, and I'm getting chills. Thank you for confirming. Okay, so I am safe. Okay, would you have any resistance to this? No, would you have any hidden resistance? No, apparently you're open to that program. So let's go for it. And we'll test anyway after. Thank you, Spirit, for installing fully the program of I am safe at any level, all level. We're talking about the multidimensional version of you. At all level, I'd like to install the program I am safe. And with all the energy ramifications that are going to come after from that core belief, making you feel indestructible, invincible, and giving you hope that you can be out there safely and that it's okay. So on a more, let's say, earthly level, this is going to be in your spiritual level, mental level, emotional level, physical level, and as I say, down to the very, very core, your DNA and subatomical level. Okay, it's just taking a bit more time. And then hopefully, when you stand up and do your last test, it's going to say, yes, you are safe. We accept that program. Okay. So let's have a look. So the same thing when you do the sway test, this time you ask, do I have a program? I am safe. Yay! Woohoo! Victory! Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. We're going to I'm going to stop this recording just because of sake of time, but we're going to finish our session together. So that's a big one, actually. That's going to help. I know it's going to help. So thank you for your, as I say, for your willingness to be online. And see, that's going to help you too. And thank you, Spirit, for your help. And you guys, I hope that was helpful to see how it works. And hope to serve many more of you, getting rid of your core belief, anything that's negative in the way of you being more visible and more abundant. This is what I wish for every single person on planet Earth. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.